Available now. Link below.
In a scathing interview that sent shockwaves through the Republican Party, Senator Rand Paul has unleashed a blistering attack on House Speaker Mike Johnson, accusing him of betraying conservative values and governing like a Democrat. What do we call those? Rhinos. That's what we call them, right? Rhinos. Now, Paul's explosive comments have exposed a deep rift within the GOP and has raised serious questions about Johnson's leadership. With infighting escalating and conservatives demanding change, the future of the Republican Party hangs in the balance. And in this special report, we'll dive deep into Paul's fiery criticism of Johnson's $1.5 trillion spending bill, his alleged lack of principles, and the growing discontent among the rank-and-file Republicans. We'll examine the implications of this high-stakes battle for the soul of the GOP and what it means for the American people. And you don't want to miss my final thought, where I will reveal the real reason behind this shocking turn of events and what it portends for our nation. Now, in these uncertain times, our energy bills are skyrocketing, just like the temperatures in the Mojave Desert, and just as the GOP is grappling with leadership crises, millions of Americans are struggling to keep the lights on, but there is hope on the horizon. Imagine a device that could slash your power bills and fight back against the greedy utility companies, just like we need Republicans to stand up for their conservative values. That's where this incredible gadget comes in, plugging into your wall outlet that optimizes your home's energy use, saving you money and sticking it to the power-hungry elite. Don't let the left control your thermostat or your government. Take control with this risk-free trial and keep more of your hard-earned cash where it belongs, in your pocket. Visit don'twastepower.com. You'll find the link down in the description. Now, in a stunning development that has rocked the Republican Party to its core, Senator Rand Paul launched a blistering attack on House Speaker Mike Johnson, accusing him of abandoning conservative principles and governing like a Democrat. Paul's scathing remarks, delivered in an explosive interview with Maria Bartiromo, have exposed deep divisions within the GOP and raised serious doubts about Johnson's ability to lead the party forward. And at the heart of Paul's criticism is Johnson's willingness to support a staggering $1.5 trillion spending bill, a move that has infuriated fiscal conservatives and sparked a revolt among rank-and-file Republicans. Quote, "As I see it now, I'm not sure there's a difference between Mike Johnson being in charge and the Democrats." That's what he declared. His words dripping with frustration and disbelief. Let's watch.
I want to also ask you about what you heard from the Speaker regarding FISA. Can we trust government? Can we trust government to use FISA appropriately and legally?
Absolutely not. Americans shouldn't be spied on by their own government. The Fourth Amendment was put in by our founding fathers to protect us. FISA doesn't obey the Fourth Amendment. And so Speaker Johnson was incredibly wrong. He broke the tie. He voted with the Democrats. Here we have the leader of the Republicans in the House votes with the Democrats against a warrant requirement. We also have Speaker Johnson voting for the spending package, once again, with the majority of the Democrats. As I see it now, I'm not sure there's a difference between Mike Johnson being in charge and the Democrats being in charge. The deficit this year will be $1.5 to $2 trillion, and that's Mike Johnson's bill. He put it forward. He supported it with a minority of Republicans, with a majority of Democrats. This is not using the power of the purse. This is abdicating the power of the purse.
Now, Paul's accusation strikes at the very core of the Republican Party's identity, suggesting that Johnson has betrayed the values that propelled him to the speakership. For a party that's long prided itself on fiscal responsibility and limited government, the idea that its leader would embrace such reckless spending is nothing short of a betrayal. But Paul's criticism did not stop there. He also took aim at Johnson's failure to use the power of the purse to rein in the Democrats' spending demands. Quote, "This is not using the power of the purse. This is abdicating the power of the purse." That's what he charged, of course, his voice rising with indignation. Now, the power of the purse enshrined in the Constitution is one of the most potent tools at the disposal of the House of Representatives. By controlling the nation's purse strings, the House has the ability to shape the direction of government spending and prioritize the issues that matter most to the American people. Yet, under Johnson's leadership, that power has been squandered, with the Speaker seemingly more interested in appeasing the Democrats than in fighting for conservative values. As Paul puts it, the Democrats got everything they want in the spending, and all the hawks got what they want too. This is a problem on the Republican side. Paul's frustration is palpable, and it's a sentiment that is shared by many conservatives across the country. They see in Johnson a leader who has lost his way, who has abandoned the principles that got him elected in the first place. It's a betrayal that cuts deep and raises serious questions about the future of the Republican Party. If its leaders are willing to govern like Democrats, acting as rhinos, if they're willing to embrace runaway spending and big government, then what is the point of having a Republican majority in the first place? But the implications of Johnson's actions go beyond just the Republican Party. They have real-world consequences for the American people who are already struggling under the weight of crushing inflation and rising prices. By embracing reckless spending, Johnson is only adding fuel to the fire, making it harder for families to make ends meet and businesses stay afloat. It's a betrayal not just of conservative principles, but of the very people that he was elected to serve. As Paul sees it, the solution is clear. Republicans need to recommit themselves to the values that have always defined their party: limited government, fiscal responsibility, and a focus on the needs of the American people. They need to use the power of the purse to rein in the Democrat spending and demands and put the brakes on runaway government growth. But more than that, they need leaders who are willing to stand up for those values, even in the face of opposition from the Democrats and the media. They need leaders like Rand Paul, who are unafraid to speak truth to power and hold their own party accountable when it strays from its principles. Now, the stakes couldn't be higher. The very future of our Republican Party hangs in the balance, and with it, the future of our entire nation. Will we continue down the path of reckless spending and big government, or will we recommit ourselves to the values that have always made America great? That's the question that every Republican must answer in the wake of Rand Paul's interview. And it's a question that will determine the course of our country for generations to come. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. The explosive revelations from Rand Paul's interview should serve as a wake-up call for every American who believes in the principles of limited government and fiscal responsibility. What we are witnessing is nothing less than a battle for the soul of the Republican Party, a fight that will determine the future of our nation for generations to come. Will we continue down the path of reckless spending and big government, or will we recommit ourselves to the values that have always made this nation great? The choice is yours, but one thing is clear. We cannot afford to sit on the sidelines any longer. We need leaders like Rand Paul who are willing to stand up and fight for what's right, even when it means taking on their own party, because in the end, this is not about Republicans or Democrats. It's about the American people and the future we want for our children and our grandchildren.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.